Live from our studios here in Kokom, namely Accra, this is Joy News. Welcome to Ghana's leading business analysis program, Beyond the Numbers.
This is the only show dedicated market update, bringing you updates on deals and key headlines shaping our business day.
Well, talking about shaping our business day, last week one of the major conversation was about the cocoa sector, and just around that same week was Valentine's Day. Now I'm wondering how you celebrated your birthday. You said you were going to give something to your loved one.
Yeah.
Was she really surprised?
Yeah, she was. I gave her some chocolate and one or two things, but I thank God that because, God loves the world so much that he gave his holy rain to fall on the last day. When it rained, a lot of people's plow were cancelled, at least no sin.
Are you sure?
People still devour the rain and still...
Well, for singles like me, I am sure that we're home celebrating with a golden tree bar, like I said.
All right.
But Winston, let's move on and get into our top business stories for today.
Indeed, definitely starting big with President Mahama in Addis. He says no more foreign financing for purchasing of cocoa. Well, the president has announced sweeping of reforms that will see Ghana purchase its cocoa using domestic currency and cease exporting raw mineral oils by 2030, marking a decisive shift toward economic sovereignty. Cocoa Board is expected to raise domestic bonds in Ghana cities to purchase cocoa directly from farmers, eliminating the need to pledge the beans as collateral. President Mahama says this would immediately unlock 400,000 tons of cocoa beans for local processors, creating thousands of jobs and retaining significantly more value within Ghana's economy.
Well, new cocoa financing model definitely top on our radar for big analysis. Now, from the corridors of cocoa, let's head straight to the fixed income space where government has again recorded 253% oversubscription in treasury bills even after the sharp fall. Now, increased rates fall to another single digits of 8.6%. Now, according to auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government received bids worth over 22.6 billion cedis, with the government rejecting about 13 billion cedis of the bids, accepting only 8.9 billion cedis.
That's huge numbers there over there, Michelle. But the big question is where will this huge leftover capital go? We'll find out that on big analysis, certainly. From the capital market, we turn attention on the petroleum space, where the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, has increased the minimum price levels for petroleum product for the second price window of February 2026. We understand the new price floor takes effect today, with the regulator giving a strong warning no oil marketing company is permitted to sell below this floor. Petrol has moved from 9 cedis 99 pesos to 10 cedis 24 pesos for the next 2 weeks. Diesel has also been increased from 10 cedis 95 pesos in the previous window to 11 cedis 34 pesos.
Well, from the energy sector, we move to the automobile industry, where Automobile Dealers Union of Ghana has announced a 15% vehicle price reduction, citing the relative stabilization of the Ghana cedi against the US dollar and the abolishing of the COVID-19 levy. Commenters asked on our various social media platforms if this announcement has increased your purchasing power of affording a car this year.
More private cars, more traffic. Let's turn our attention to a new report has revealed that Ghana's gridlock cost Ghana 4.5 billion cedis a year. The study found that traffic congestion, particularly along the major gridlock hotspot in Accra, has become a major setback as worker productivity, draining incomes and significantly affecting the quality of life in the capital.
Well, let's move away to the telecom space now, where the regulator, NPA, has introduced stricter enforceable performance standards for mobile telecommunications services, capping call drop below 1%.
Finally, to the currency watch, where the cedi began the trading day under some marginal pressures as import bill for the quarter begins to rise.
Well, we've got more of this for you on the show. This is Market Watch is actually next. Please stay with us. This is Beyond the Numbers.
And we are in for Market Watch, and Grace Monanyun of Data Bank Research has joined us, Michelle, and we'll go straight to the market, trying to understand how the market is faring. It's been about, more than 48 hours since the finance minister announced that Cocoa Board, for instance, is going to come to the market to actually issue bonds. I want to start from Grace Monanyun to see how the market is responding. Grace, since Thursday that announcement has come, we want to know how the market is responding to this. Is this really affecting the market? How is the market actually even responding to this so far?
For having me on the call once again. Like I rightly noted on Friday, the market is still on the wait and see approach as to how the market will really turn out after the new issuance comes out. So as it stands now, trading is a little laxer. We don't see any much activity after the announcement.
How has the index been like? I want you to quantify the index for us, especially from the financial sector. How has the index been like? I mean, starting today around 10 a.m. when the market actually opened, what has been the change so far?
Right. On the stock market, we've seen a lot of interest on the market so far. We've seen quite a number of counters make a move in a positive direction, just in line with our expectation for this week. We've seen the likes of MTN Ghana, EcoBank Ghana leading the Guinness charts once again. We've seen also the entrance of Republic Bank Ghana, mostly financial counters leading the charge for the day. And that has boosted the performance of the Ghana Stock Exchange on the market today as we speak. We've seen a lot of liquidity chasing the financial counters because some investors believe the sector is currently undervalued and they could take advantage of assistance. So yes, we've seen a lot of interest in the counter move in a positive direction.
Sure.
Find out from you, how do you think this is going to affect the companies that are in the cocoa value chain?
Can you take your question again?
Looking at the announcement of government about Cocoa Board going back to cocoa issuance, I'm asking you, how do you think companies that are involved in the cocoa value chain will be affected by this?
Right, as it stands now, we only have one agri counter listed on the exchange. That's Ben's Oil Palm Plantation.
Oh wow, just one?
And that is one agri counter, agricultural stock, which is Ben's Oil Palm Plantation, very away from the cocoa sector affiliated inputs. But as I speak, Ben's Oil Palm Plantation made entrance last week. I wouldn't associate that to the cocoa sector in effects of the announcement, but I believe the counter itself is doing well for itself because of last year's Ministry of Finance initiative to export crude palm oil from routing it through that counter. Investors really rated the counter positively, and as you say, the counter is in excess of 60 Ghana cedis per share, all the way from the levels of 40 cedis. So I think veered away from the cocoa sector announcements, the counter is doing it perfectly on its own.
Okay. Now, away from cocoa, Michelle, you and I were discussing how, if you look at the treasury bill markets, for instance, we've seen another oversubscription, more than 200%. Absolutely, and we are asking, whatever happens in the T-bill markets will definitely have an impact on the fixed income markets as well. What is happening to that space and even its bearing on the equities? What is happening to the T-bill markets? Are we seeing its impact in the fixed income market? And if you come to equities, is it actually responding to this sort of information we are getting from the market today?
Yeah, so investors are more towards the curve of the yield. In terms of the bonds listed on the exchange, they're not really trading so much because investors are looking for the shorter term. And there's a lot of liquidity trading on the 91, 182, 364 bills. Giving government the leverage to reject over 13 billion in terms of subscriptions, as we rightly saw in the auction last week. And I believe this is helping the government to trim down some yield to the levels of 8.6, as you rightly mentioned, beginning of the show. And I think its impact on the stock market is there's liquidity. Investors are chasing for shorter term of the yield, looking for capital gains for their investments. So then if I can't get what I'm looking for on the fixed income market, which is the short-term yield, I'd rather move into the stock market. And I believe that is accounting for some of the interest we are seeing on the stock market as it stands now.
Right, but I'd also want to find out what exactly could be the reason for this oversubscription. What else is the market looking for?
Yeah, the market is looking for capital gains, like I mentioned. So anything that will return in the shorter term favorable yields, investors are game on. they're looking forward to, appreciating their capital. They don't want to risk it for inflationary pressures, as we already know. So investors are looking for alternative securities that will just yield them positive returns rather than keeping their cash idle.
Grace, you made an important point that investors are currently saturated at the short-term end of the market. Currently, I know T-bill rates are around 8.5%. If the government is coming in to issue cocoa bills, where do you expect the interest to be or the coupon rate to be for them to be able to attract investors to even come into the pool of long-term or medium-term investments?
Right. The cocoa bond we have on the market is currently trading around 13%.
13%.
And like I noticed last week,
huge.
and an investor is looking for it to sell in at 14%, which is at premium. So if government wants to be a bit competitive on the market, I believe they'll do a little within this range, anything favorable away from the shorter term of the yield curve, as investors are looking forward to. So anything between this range should do for the market to subscribe fully to the bonds expected to come to the market.
Great. That's how the market is actually responding, and you have your stock, data actually there. The investor is looking for short-term end of the market, and we understand that even at premium, anybody who is actually holding cocoa bills at the moment, around 13%, hoping to actually sell it around 14%. Grace Mononune of Data Bank Research, thank you very much for that information. So if government really wants to go back to the market, they need to price maybe about 15% or 14%. But there's something interesting happening in the mining space. So we take you to the Lands Ministry, where the Lands Minister will be addressing the press very soon, talking about illegal mining. He's been in South Africa, right, to sell Ghana at the Indaba conference, where he spoke about gold mining and said that we are looking at, responsible mining. But I want to ask you, if you are to float, or possibly if you are to buy bonds, one of the cocoa bonds, or maybe a T-bill bond, let's say one of the treasury bills, 8.5%. If you go to the market, you want a cocoa bill about 15%. Would you hope for short-term end of the market, or possibly you join the long-term part of the market?
Well, I think I'll do the short term for now and see how, especially because of the ups and downs that our cocoa sector is facing. I'd rather want to do a short term and see how well it does before I probably think of doing a long term.
Well, so that's what Grace said. The investors are actually currently doing the wait and see attitude or approach, where they are looking to see what is happening at the short term of the market to also the medium term. But we'll take you to the Lands Ministry, where the Lands Minister will be addressing the press matters concerning illegal mining. He's been in South Africa trying to sell Ghana. We'll bring you big analysis very soon, and Caleb Zeblim and Winston Taki will join the show right after this short break.